Duchess is the hybrid assassin spellcasting class of Nightreign that can use daggers as well as cast spells and incantations. She also has the most broken ability in the game, taking the last 3 seconds of damage the enemy has taken and then applying it again to them. This includes the status effects as well as the poise damage that you've done. This ability lets Duchess amplify the whole team's damage. Her skills are pretty complicated, so in this video, we're going to be breaking down how you can use each of her skills, what weapons you should be taking, what passive you should be taking, how she works in each team, and then final thoughts at the end. Her passive skill is called Magnificent Poise, and what this says is attack and dodge optimally, dodging repeatedly whenever necessary. This gives Duchess a unique dodge animation where she can dodge twice in a row. Dodging also takes less stamina. It reduces your stamina consumption in combat while you're dodging by about 75%. What you might not know is the initial dodge is the worst in the game. It only gives you 11 iframes, whereas every other character gets 13 iframes with their dodge. But the first dodge has no recovery time, so you can get right into the second one, which increases the total iframes up to 19. Which means if you ever panic roll as Duchess, just press the button again and you'll have way more iframes than any other knife bearer and you'll get out of the attack no problem. Something else you might not know is the Duchess is the only character that gets iframe on the backstep, which is when you press the dodge roll when you're just standing still. This passive allows Duchess to be the most mobile character in the game. It allows you to go in and out of combat really quick, and you can dodge in and dodge out without having to worry too much about your stamina. Duchess's first skill is the most broken in the game. It's called Restage. It's going to take the last 3 seconds of damage that they've taken, even from your whole team, and then apply it again at 50% at a base. And you can apply this while you're doing any other animation, dodging. If you're far away, you're close, you can do the attacks, then you can go back a little bit and activate, and it'll still do the damage. This skill is also going to apply all the status effects again, so poison, bleed, scarlet rot, frostbite, all of them are going to be applied at the last 3 seconds. Apply all of that again. It's also going to apply the poise damage again, and this is for your whole team. So for example, if you have a Wilder that uses their ultimate, you can use it to do a lot of poise damage. If you have an Executor that's applying a lot of status effects, you can use it to apply status effects again. There's also a relic we'll talk about in the relic section that increases the damage from 50% to 60%. There's also a relic which gives you a free restage whenever you finish a dagger combo chain. If you're playing Duchess, this is the most important ability. This is what you should be focusing on every time, because this is where the vast majority of your damage is going to be coming from. Using your restage at the right time is going to be the difference between you just being an okay Duchess and being an amazing Duchess. So for example, bleed is a % damage proc. If the boss bleeds, make sure you have a restage up so you can bleed twice, so they're going to take double the damage. If the boss just got crit, then do the restage. It's going to do the crit again. It's like as if you crit the boss twice. I see a lot of people making the mistake of not using this all the time, but you should be using this on cooldown. It's only a 12-second cooldown, so you need to be using it every time it's up. Now if you can hold it a little bit to make it more effective, yeah, that makes sense, but if not, like, try to just use it on cooldown every time you have it. If you feel like you're not doing much damage as Duchess, make sure you're using this ability at the right time. It's gonna amplify your team's damage by a lot. It makes a lot of fights super easy because you can burst down the boss before they get too difficult for you. Her ultimate is called Finale. On initial activation, you'll be invulnerable, and after that, you and allies around you will go invisible. Enemies won't be able to perceive you, so you can get backstabs off easily, but be careful, you can still take damage even though they are not going to be targeting you. You can use the ultimate offensively and defensively. So offensively, when you cast it, the enemies will lose sight of you. It means that you can get you and your teammates the time to set up to get into the right position to do lots of damage. You can also use it defensively while using it to revive people. So if somebody goes down and use the ultimate, the boss won't hit you. You can go run to them, and even if they have 3 bars, you can easily revive them. This makes it one of the most versatile ultimates in the game. Now when it comes to playstyle for the Duchess, there's 2 things that you want to focus on the most. So the main thing you want to be focusing on with your dagger is going to be applying status effects. Bleed and frostbite being the most important. So because you attack so fast with daggers, you're going to be applying bleeds really fast, and then you can use restage to apply the bleed again and do a lot of percentage based damage. The other playstyle you can do is to use restage on strong spells that do a lot of damage. That can work out really well as well. But there is a problem with that playstyle. We'll talk about more in the mistake section, but I think you should be using the daggers all the time. Especially once you get certain relics, then daggers I think are mandatory and you can only use daggers. But if you find a really strong spell that you can use while being safe, why not? Now we're going to be talking about the mistakes I see most people make that I think are holding them back. And if you just fix these simple mistakes, you're going to have way more enjoyable time playing Duchess. First mistake I see is just saving your ultimate to revive people. Don't use it just defensively, use it offensively, use it to get into position to do a lot more damage. It's going to make all your runs way smoother. Second mistake I see people make all the time is actually picking up really strong staffs, especially if you have a Recluse on your team. If you don't know how Recluse work, they need 3 different elements to get a really strong spells that they can activate. So if your Recluse is not getting strong staffs, it's really going to be a letdown for your team. Now, while it's true you can do a lot of damage with staffs, just remember if your Recluse is really strong and they're doing a lot of damage, your restage is going to be doing even more damage, so your overall team damage will be higher. Another mistake that people are making is when you get the relic that gives you the combo chain restage, make sure you have enough stamina to reach the end of the combo because it's going to do a lot of damage. It's going to be a big difference. Don't just do 1 or 2 dagger swings, make sure you take the combo all the way to the end. Now we're going to be talking about what builds you can use. There's actually a very big variety of builds you can use. Starting right at the beginning, we're going to be talking about relics you can get before you do all the remembrance quests. Knight of the Miasma and Knight of the Wise are really good for her. It means you can use your starting relic and get frostbite as well as poison and more attack power and get invisible whenever you do frostbite. That invisibility works really well for her, as well as applying status effect also works really well for her. Once you kill enough bosses, I think it's 4, you can buy this from the small jar bazaar. It's going to give you the improved character skill attack power. And this is what's going to give you the increased damage from 50% to 60% on your restage. These are great starter relics. Once you unlock the chalice that gives you 3 yellow slots, you can use something like this. Knight of the Miasma and Knight of the Wise are just default. The ultimate charge is faster, and when you use criticals from invisibility, again, is going to charge even faster. Eventually, you'll get dagger chain attacks, reprise event upon nearby enemies. This is what's going to apply restage automatically at the end of dagger chains. Once you do enough remembrance quests, you'll get a relic that does this guaranteed. Another relic I had gave me blood loss on my starting weapon, as well as frostbite, and then I got the restage from the daggers as well. And once you unlock the remembrance, it's going to be even better. For her stats, you get a C in HP, B in FP, and D in stamina, so you don't have too much HP, you have a lot of FP, you have a D in stamina, but remember, you're using less stamina when you're dodging, so it goes a lot further. You get a B in Dex, which is why we're using daggers. You get a C in Arcane, which means you get a lot of status effects and your restage will apply them even more. You do get an A in Intelligence, but again, I suggest you use daggers more than use spells or anything, but that's why you're doing a lot of damage with spells, because you have the high stats with Intelligence. Now we're going to get into what weapons you want to be using. Now again, like we discussed before, you always want to be using your daggers. Starting dagger is pretty good. 2 white daggers that you can get that have blood affinities, they're pretty decent. For the blue daggers, you want to be using the crystal knife. Gives you the magic stat, which scales a lot better than just your dexterity. Another good dagger, the scorpion stinger, is going to let you apply scarlet rock to the enemy, which is way better than poison. Another good dagger is the glintstone Chris. Scales really well with magic, which works really good with your A in intelligence scaling. Now if you get the Reduvia, make sure you use it because it applies a good amount of bleed effect. Another really good weapon you can use is the black knife. The active is actually really good. You can use it with your restage to do the permanent damage. Now for T composition, she works really well with everyone, but especially people that do a lot of bursts, so like Wilder or Recluse. But again, if you're with Recluse, make sure you give them enough staff so they can actually succeed and so you can succeed. Other than that, Executor is really good because you can apply those bleed effects over and over again. So in conclusion, Duchess is an excellent class if you like mobility and you like really being able to help your teammates to achieve victory. Your passive is going to give you the most mobility in the game. You don't have to be locked in and try to do the most amount of DPS as possible because your restages are going to mean that your teammates doing damage also means that you're doing more damage. You can use the restage to reapply, for example, bleed, which is going to be a huge amount of percentage damage, so any boss is going to go down real quick. If you get the boss down and you're going in for a critical hit, you can use your restage to make sure you're doing a really hard critical hit. Her ultimate can also be very varied. You can use it offensively, you can use it defensively. You can use it offensively to make sure the boss is not paying attention when you're trying to get into the right position to do a lot of damage. You can also use it super defensively, like your teammates can run away and heal, or if they're down, you can invisible yourself and then you can run up and heal them, and then the boss has no idea what you're doing. It makes it way easier. Plus, because you're going to be using daggers most of the time, you're going to be reviving them really fast. The Duchess is a great character if you're a new player or even if you're more experienced. The passive makes it so that even if you're new to the game and you're panic rolling, you're still going to be very safe because you're going to have the longest iframes with your rolls. And then as you get more and more knowledge of the game, your ability to use your restages and use your ultimate in an offensive way is going to mean your teammates are going to be doing way more damage and you're going to be finishing every boss fight way faster. So let me know down below what you think of the Duchess. If you guys liked the video, please like the video. please subscribe because I'm going to be doing more of those guys. Thanks for watching.